increased tanker traffic. 130 Aboriginal groups are opposed, only 3 support it.
We say no!
There is a legal quagmire ahead, thicker than any bitumen Enbridge might try to move along a pipeline. Given the number of opposed First Nations and various levels of government, there will easily be 4 or 5 years of court battles to come. And that's if BC decides to approve what Ottawa already has. Peter Granger, CTV News, Vancouver.
We all know that the NDP is ideologically opposed to all development of resources. We all know that the NDP is ideologically opposed to all development of resources.
Ottawa has approved the controversial Northern Gateway Pipeline project. Ottawa has approved the controversial Northern Gateway Pipeline project.
The federal government has given a green light to the Northern Gateway Pipeline. The federal government has given a green light to the Northern Gateway Pipeline.
Harper is illegal. Canada is illegal. The province and the federal government is illegal because they don't have jurisdiction in our people's territory because we've never signed no treaties. This land is still unceded, and we proved in the Delgamuukw stay-away that this is our territory, and they have to get our consent before any projects go through. And they tried to get our consent, and our chief said no to their projects. So no means no.
Would have rejected this immediately.
Supertankers in the Douglas Channel is pure madness.
The Enbridge plan to take diluted bitumen from the Alberta oil sands and send 500,000 barrels a day by dual pipelines, 1,200 kilometers across northern BC, through the Rockies, towns, First Nations land, and the Coast Mountains, to Kitimat, where an estimated 225 supertankers a year will then carry the oil to overseas markets, most in Asia. A $6.5 billion mega project that will generate an estimated $300 billion in GDP over the next 30 years. But Enbridge still has to meet 209 environmental and safety conditions imposed by the National Energy Board, and 5 key conditions imposed by BC, including passing an environmental review, adopting world-leading spill prevention and response on the sea and land, consult with and engage First Nations, and ensure BC receives a fair share of economic benefits to cover the risk borne by the province. Polls show 2/3 of British Columbians are against the pipeline or want it postponed.
And Wet'suwet'en law applies to these. They can go ahead and try and put their project through here. They will be considered trespassers, and we'll enforce Wet'suwet'en law against any trespassers. You bring any equipment on here, it's going to belong to us. You'll be walking out. You try to bring any forces, we're more skilled in the wilderness than they are, so we're not afraid of the Harper government. We're not afraid of anybody that's going to try and forcefully put their project through our territory when we've already said no.
Peter Granger reports opponents are already vowing to make sure construction never even starts.
This whole process is a sham and that the decision was taken before the process even started.
Thinking of my grandchildren in my heart, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today, for taking the time to once again come together in solidarity. We are brothers and sisters, absolutely brothers and sisters in the struggle and the fight, the war to protect Mother Earth. Clean water. 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 Clean water.
For many observers, it was a foregone conclusion that the Harper government would give the green light to Enbridge's Northern Gateway project, which would allow tar sands oil to find its way to Asian markets via pipeline to Kitimat. Environmental groups have protested Northern Gateway too. The Union of BC Municipalities voted against it, and so did the people of Kitimat.
They're tone deaf to what's actually going on in British Columbia, and I actually think this is going to be the biggest mistake Stephen Harper has ever made.
There is still much work to be done.
And our numbers are quite high right across Canada. Indigenous people probably outnumber settler people. So you can guarantee if there's an uprising in one community, especially something that's a bigger project like this that's going to impact the whole world with the global warming, you're guaranteed you're going to have a lot of upset people right across Canada, not just here, because this impacts everybody. So we had people make vows that they will shut down major highways to impact the Canadian economy if Harper government's going to ignore the Indigenous people.
And we're still here. We're not going anywhere. The camp is still here. There's people who are resisting. There's people showing up every day. The numbers are growing. There's numbers growing in the surrounding towns. Supporters are repositioning themselves in the surrounding towns to help build up more local support. There's people in the cities who are mobilized now. They've gone through a lot of training. They're still holding more training workshops. There's individuals all over the world that have pledged to do what they can to help us. This war is far from being over. We're going to win this one, and we're going to win it decisively.
Mind meets a militant, bonds become resilient. Got times and the symbols in the long river. Then go through the life of different band. We still defend, not to pretend. Never let the pipes in, never let the pipes in.